Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to my magical HOPATHON TBR video. It's here, finally. Oh my god, I have been putting off creating a TBR, not even just this video, an actual TBR for my own readathon because I hit the biggest slump in March, and luckily, as I keep saying, if you've seen any of my recent videos, I am finally feeling out of it because I treated myself to some new books and I also went to the library, and that's what my TBR mainly consists of, is library books and books I've just bought, because those are the books that are currently inspiring me and motivating me to actually pick up books. Because clearly my slump was due to the fact that my physical TBR that I already owned wasn't inspiring me anymore. So I was like, to combat this, I'm just gonna have to spend my money and go to, obviously as well as go to the library and spend a little bit of my money to get books that are currently in this moment of time inspiring me and motivating me the most to read. So I am so happy to have finally created a TBR, and a TBR that I'm actually really excited for. So without further ado, let's hop into it. No pun intended. So with this round of the Magical HOPAthon, I have decided to, instead of trying to fit books I want to read into the prompts, I am picking the prompts that would actually create my dream Disney day in Disneyland Paris and make books fit to those prompts, because it's a little bit more of a challenge and it also makes the readathon come more alive, because these are the things I would actually do if I entered the gates at Disneyland Paris, or when I enter the gates, because I am going in June. I'm so excited. So when I enter the gates at Disneyland Paris, what am I going to do? All the prompts I've picked are the things and the activities and the rides and the characters that I actually want to do when I'm there physically in person this summer. And I've made books fit to those prompts rather than making prompts fit to books, basically. So my dream Disney day, I cannot go to a Disney park, any park around the world, without going to the main park, and usually that is the one with the castle. So of course I'm starting in the main park of Disneyland Paris, and to get into the park is to complete the prompts to read a book that is calling to you. And you guys know I love me some fake dating, and the book that is currently calling to me that I really want to pick up right now is Hani and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating. I am so excited to read this book. Emily kind of gifted me this book, I think, yeah, for Christmas, and I have been putting this book off, and I don't even know why, because I love me some fake dating and this is sapphic, and I just think it's going to be a joyous time reading it. And just to pre-warn, this TBR is very ambitious, but I'm going to try my hardest to read all these books on this TBR. But if I don't, I don't. No stress in 2022 regarding reading. I am going to start the readathon by reading this book, and I have to complete this book in able to move on to the other books, because by reading this book it gives me the park entrance ticket. So this book basically follows our two main characters, Hani and Ishu, and Hani has always had it all until she comes out as bisexual and her friends unfortunately don't believe her. And then on the other side of the story we have Ishu, who really wants to be head girl, but she has a lot to prove, and to be able to become head girl she feels like she needs to be popular. So Hani and Ishu come up with a plan to fake date to allow them both to get what they want, and it sounds like my perfect cup of tea. So this is the book that I'll be reading first for the Magical HOPAthon. Now I'm inside Disneyland Paris. The land me and my family always run to first, whether that's in Walt Disney World or Disneyland Paris, is Tomorrowland. And although in Disneyland Paris it isn't called Tomorrowland, it still features the same ride, and that is Space Mountain, or Disneyland Paris call it Hyperspace Mountain. And for that prompt is to read a book that takes you out of this world. I'm kind of pushing it a little bit, but it takes me out in this world as it's out of my comfort zone, and it's also a thriller mystery, so it's going to be taking me out of my current situation, because luckily I am not currently experiencing any of these traumas. So I am going to be reading You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus, and I have read One of Us is Lying. I did really enjoy it when I read it back in 2019, maybe even 2018, so a long time ago, and I haven't ever picked up any of her other books, but I saw this at the library and I thought, because I'm in a slump, this might be perfect, a YA quick mystery thriller to try and get me out of it, and that also corresponds with being a great book for a readathon, quick to get through, fast paced. So that is the book I've chosen to take me out of this world, and so I can ride Hyperspace Mountain. And the tagline says, skipping school is fun until someone is murdered, and I think it's about a group of classmates who are in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then people start to feel that they have something to do with the murder even though they haven't, and they go about to try and solve it to clear their name. The typical YA mystery thriller. Once I have ridden Space Mountain, one of my favourite shows to do in any Disney park that it is located is Mickey's PhilharMagic, so of course I had to stop by and watch a showing, and for that show the prompt is to read a book with illustrations because it is a 3D animated show, and for that I've chosen The Secret Sunshine Project by Benjamin Dean. This is one of the most recent books I've added to my collection, and that is because I pre-ordered it and it came out in late March, so I've only just managed to get my hands on it, and it's absolutely stunning. And if you guys have only just started following me, I rated Benjamin Dean's debut book, Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow, at 5 stars when I read it in 2021. So I instantly, as soon as he announced that he had another book coming out, I had to pre-order it, I had to get my hands on it, and I'm super excited to read this book. And it does fulfill the prompt because it has a lot of like mini illustrations in it, so it might not have major illustrations, but all the chapter headers have illustrations, and there's some like random illustrations in the middle, so it definitely fits the prompt for Mickey's PhilharMagic. This book basically follows our main character Bee, and she has a sister called Riley and a mum and a dad, and last year they went to Pride and had the best time, but since then a dark cloud has come over their family, and Riley especially has started to really struggle. So when they move down to the countryside, Bee makes it her mission to bring sunshine back to her sister's life. And it says, with the help of new friends, can Bee bring Riley sunshine back for good? And I think this is going to be the cutest book. I remember reading Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow last year super duper quickly. Like, I think I read 250 pages in one sitting. So I definitely have high hopes for this book, and I really hope it's quick to get through. And I can't go to a Disney park without visiting the main mouse himself, Mickey Mouse. So for this, it is to read a book that is loved by all, and for that I'm going to go with Ace of Spades. Now this is a whopper of a book for a readathon, but you know what, I'm just gonna set my bar really high, and if I don't achieve it, I don't achieve it. But I just wanted to actually do all the prompts and all the attractions and activities and characters that I would actually do in a park day if I was out there myself. So there may be more books on this TBR that I can physically read in 2 weeks, but I'm not going to let that dampen my experience of doing this readathon. I just want to get through as many books as possible, and I have set the bar rather high. So of course I had to meet Mickey Mouse, and for that I've chosen Ace of Spades because this book is loved by a lot of people on BookTube and the book community. So I thought it was about time I finally got around to it, because I brought this book last summer when I was in London with some of my BookTube besties. So I thought, it's about time I read it. This book is another kind of thriller mystery. I'm hoping going with this genre, it's going to be page turning, so I can read a lot of pages in one sitting rather than feeling stagnant, having only read 20 or 30 pages. So that's the aim with this book, and the other thriller on this TBR as well, You'll Be the Death of Me. I'm just hoping they're both really quick page turners. And this book kind of follows an entire high school, but mainly follows two main characters, Devon and Shyamaka. I'm probably butchering that name. Apparently this private academy, this high school, is known for perfection until one day an anonymous texter called Ace starts to interrupt everyone's lives, and it kind of gives me Gossip Girl vibes, and I love me a bit of Gossip Girl, especially Dan Humphrey. So I'm intrigued to read this, and the other character I have to meet in Disney every time I go, because I am a massive fan of him, is Winnie the Pooh, and for that the prompt is to read a book that is a comfort read to you. And I thought I would continue my reread of the I Heart series by Lindsay Kelk, and I'm on the 4th book, I Heart Vegas. This, once again, is super quick get through for me, plus I do have the audiobook on Scribd to hand, so I can always listen to that and get through some more books more quickly. This is the 4th book in the series, so I can't say much, but the 1st book, I Heart New York, basically follows Angela Clark as she realises that her fiance is cheating on her at her best friend's wedding. So she decides to just say, screw this, I'm moving, and she moves to New York and she starts a whole new life. She meets new men, new best friends, and she really starts to prosper in New York as she finally gets her dream job of a writer and a journalist. And every book you follow a different kind of mini adventure within Angela's new life, and this one follows her in Vegas. So I'm very excited to read it, and it's definitely a comfort book for me, so fits perfectly for the Winnie the Pooh prompt. Having done all of those fun things in Disneyland Paris's park, I'm going to hop over to the Walt Disney Studios. Because I have already completed the park entrance prompt for Disneyland Paris, I don't need to do that again for Walt Disney Studios, so I'm going to hop straight over to Tower of Terror, because once again it's one of my favourite attractions within a Disney resort, and for that is to read a book that spooks you out. and I thought I would give people like her a try. This book's been on my radar for quite a while now, and the reason I think it's going to spook me out is because it's about an online influencer, and I'm not saying I'm an influencer, but I definitely have an online presence, and the tagline simply says, followed by millions, hunted by one, and it's a thriller about an online influencer, and she kind of just shares her life about being a mother on Instagram, and she starts to fool people, and she thinks everyone is believing her kind of fake life until one person reveals the truth and shit goes down, basically. So I'm very, very intrigued about this one, and hopefully I love it because it's been on my radar for quite a while now, and I'm really, really excited to get to it. One of my favourite rides in Disneyland Paris that doesn't exist across any other Disney resort in the entire world, so it's a must-do for me and my family when we go to Disneyland Paris, and that is Crush's Coaster, and that is to read a TBR vet. And I hate this prompt. Whether it comes up in readathons, whether it comes up in my TBR game, I despise this prompt. But Crush is old, so it makes perfect sense for Crush's Coaster to have the prompt of TBR vet. So I simply went on Goodreads and I went to my physical TBR shelf, and I basically just found the book that I put on there first, and that happens to be Summer Assault, which works perfectly because if you saw my Easter egg hunt April TBR, which features books that I want to read outside of this readathon, Summer Assault did actually make that list, and you know what, I'm really happy that I've managed to double up on this book and fit it within the readathon as well. This book basically follows two sisters, and at the age of 18 in this fantasy magical realism world, you're meant to start showing magical powers. However, one sister is showing these magical powers and the other one is not, and it's basically about their journey. And I read that synopsis out on my April TBR video, and Mark watched that video and he was like, that book sounds like Frozen. And I was like, oh my god, it does. So it fits perfectly for a Disney inspired readathon because Mark thinks it sounds like Frozen, and I think it does too. So this is the book that I'll be reading for Crush's Coaster, and it also works because Nemo is like under the sea and like sea vibes and ocean vibes, and this is also oceany vibes as well. So I think this book is perfect for this prompt, and I really hope that I can get round to it in the Magical HOPAthon. And finally, I cannot leave a Disney park without having stayed for their nighttime spectacular, whether that is fireworks or a nighttime show. So I had to complete the prompt for Disney Illuminations, which is Disneyland Paris's fireworks show, to read a book with a beautiful cover. And for that, I've kind of stretched it a little bit. Like, I do like this cover, but I don't think it's like the most amazing cover out there. But I wanted to fit it in to this TBR somehow, and it made perfect sense because I do love foiling on covers. And that is Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. Once again, this book is familiar because it managed to make its way onto my April TBR during my Easter egg hunt. And I love foiling, and I really like the detailing of Queenie's hair. I think it's absolutely stunning, and the fact that this has some gold foiling on it. I do think it's a really pretty cover. However, I do prefer the pink version of this cover. I'm not sure why they came out with a yellow and pink version, but I do prefer the pink version. But I do still think this is a very nice cover with the foiling and the detailing of Queenie's hair. So I'm going with it. I'm going to call this a beautiful cover. It's definitely a cover I like. It just might not be the most beautiful cover I've ever seen. And all it says on the back, because it doesn't really give you a blurb as such, it says, a darkly comic and bitterly submersive take on life, love, race and family. Queenie will have you nodding in recognition, crying in solidarity, and rooting for this unforgettable character every step of the way. And I think it's just going to be a slice of life book that hits some really important topics, and that is my perfect book. I love books like that. That is like a buzzword sentence for me. So I'm really excited to give this one a go as well. And that wraps up my dream Disney day, having watched the fireworks. So let's do a mandatory TBR stack and just refresh everything that I'm planning to read for the Magical HOPAthon. So here we have my stack. It doesn't look too bad if it was a month-long readathon, but it's not. It's a 2-week-long readathon. So let's recap. To enter the park, I'm reading Hanu and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating. I'm then going to be hopping over to Hyperspace Mountain to read You'll Be the Death of Me. And then I'm going to be watching Mickey's PhilharMagic and reading The Secret Sunshine Project by Benjamin Dean. I'm then going to go and meet Mickey Mouse, the main man himself, and read Ace of Spades. I'm then going to be meeting the fan favourite Winnie the Pooh and reading I Heart Vegas for a comfort read. And then I'm going to hop over to Walt Disney Studios and I'm going to ride one of my favourite rides, Tower of Terror, and read People Like Her. And then I'm going to go over and ride a go-to ride for me and my family, Crush's Coaster, and read Summer of Salt. And then I'm going to end my dream Disney day by watching Disney Illuminations, the fantastic firework display, and read Queenie by Candace Carty-Williams. And that is my TBR, my friends. I'm very, very excited to read all these books. I'm just a little bit daunted about the page count because I have done said calculations. The total page count of the books that I just shown in that stack is, wait for it, 2,740 pages in 2 weeks. Guys, in March, I read 938 pages in the entire month of March. And now I'm trying to read 2,700 odd pages in 2 weeks. I think I might be in a little bit too deep, but nevertheless, I'm super, super excited to read all of these books and just get going on a magical hopathon. I am so excited. If I want to complete all those books, it does mean reading 195 pages a day, every day for 2 weeks, when I've barely been reading 50 pages a day with my reading slump. So, you know, we're just out here having fun, living my best life, but you know, challenging times are ahead of me. But I'm really hoping, because I am so excited for this readathon, all these books that are in this stack are inspiring me so much to read right now. I'm just hoping that I'm just going to run through the gates full force, running down Main Street, can you even picture it, and just run straight in to my first ride and just absolutely smash this TBR one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. So there we have it. That's my magical hopathon TBR. Let me know in the comments down below if you're partaking in this magical hopathon round 2 for Disneyland Paris' 30th anniversary. I would love to know in the comments. It brings me so much joy and fills my heart with joy when I hear you guys are participating and I see your TBRs and you make TikToks for them and you use my Instagram templates to create your TBRs. It makes me so, so happy. So let me know in the comments down below if you are thinking about taking part. If you don't know what this readathon is, I will link the video down below so you can find out all about it. You still have time to join. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up. Give me all your good vibes in the comments and all your thumbs up down below, because I'm going to need it to be able to read 8 or 7 books in 2 weeks in April. But I'm so excited. And subscribe so you don't miss any of the vlogs that I'll be doing regarding the magical hopathon as well. And without further ado, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.